Ow! Just banged my knee. Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and/or its affiliate and subordinate ministries and/or nonprofits. Some of this content may be adult in nature, so please use discretion while watching with the children. Good morning! Coming to you live from Acts Media Group headquarters or AMG Studios or Productions, whatever it's called, here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay, with your hosts, Matt and Jay. I know, shocker, right? Matt and Jay. Two crazy guys, two wild and crazy guys.
Right?
That would be us. You know that, right? We were Persians on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Those guys cracked me up. That's back when comedy was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Not political.
No, it definitely wasn't, especially when Richard Pryor was on with Chevy Chase. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
And we're glad to have everybody on board with us today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. What's really cool is Johnny Rooster is going to be going live from Finley River Park today because they're setting up for the balloon things and the hot air balloons, I think, and then the duck race.
You know, you have to text him personally in order to communicate with him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that whenever he's live on location.
Yeah.
That's how I tell him, video's queued.
Yeah.
Things like that. And he always stops mid-sentence and he's like this.
Sound is bad. Yeah. And
okay.
if you want us to hear Andrea, you got to point the mic at her.
Yeah.
That's what I had to tell him. He did good, though.
Yeah. He
adjusted well.
He does a good job.
Yeah.
I really like Johnny and all that he does. He's definitely way more involved than most.
Yeah.
And
committed.
And so it's exciting stuff.
You know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do, Jay?
I am going to like and share these videos.
I am updating my software.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No.
And we do have an update available, by the way, on vMix.
Yep. We will be having to we will definitely be having to do that today. And that's another thing I need to show Johnny and other people how to do. So today we're talking about what makes children angry. Don't make your kids mad. It says it in the scripture. It talks about it in our scripture of the day, Ephesians 6:4. And you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord.
Yes.
Which and we were going to talk about like how to not make your kids angry and stuff.
Admonition being gentle teaching and correction, I think is what it said.
And then I was just thinking about what Barney was talking about.
It's so funny.
Gentle teaching.
Yeah.
I just taught you what.
I just taught you what sabbatical means.
Love that guy, man.
And it was like, dang, if I was his boss, I'd be like, oh man, do I really have to give him one?
Right. You want to add the
orange...
the
answer then is yes, I do. He did just teach me that,
Do you want to add the orange globe to the spinny thingy?
Oh yeah, change that.
And then go ahead and resave it. I don't know why it did. Well, I don't know why. Anyways, Jackie Melton, good morning. How's your husband? He's home, I hear. Shakil Ahmad, welcome. Good morning. He says good morning. That's real. We're glad to have you on the show with us today. It's a beautiful day. I don't know how it is out there where you're at.
There's the globe. Look at that.
Is the weather hot out there?
In the Middle East?
Shaquille?
Yeah.
We're okay. So we're just assuming you're in the Middle East. Are you in the Middle East?
Or
are you here in the States? Where are you?
Yeah. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah. We'd like to hear from you.
So we also thought of this scripture, not just because we're parents, but also now because our children are of
childbearing age.
and I have a child who has 2 children. So I think it's important to know that we're not irrelevant anymore in the raising of our own children. You know, when we see them struggling, because you know how overwhelming life can be when you're a parent and you're also a primary caregiver and you're a breadwinner. You know, that's an overwhelming amount of things, and it's hard sometimes to juggle it all. That's a common term used in family life, is juggling life, you know?
I heard a phrase that's stuck in my mind. It says, people who punish their kids can spoil their grandchildren. People who spoil their kids have to raise their grandchildren.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Larry is on with you. She says, nice.
Hey, Larry.
Larry.
We love you, man.
Yeah.
I hope you're healing quickly and healing well.
And feisty as ever. You're probably getting ants in your pants.
Yeah. God bless you, brother. You're an amazing
always
blessing.
doing something.
And a fantastic example. I want to be like him.
Yeah. And all right. So let me pull up this topic here that you sent. What makes children angry is an article that we're reading today. From ACT.
Well, and I did want to, because our viewing audience is of our age, not of like a lot of them don't have children at home, but I think it is still important that when we see our children, not teaching their children, but rather saying things like, you know, you hear a common thing. What is it? Because I said so. I get it. Sometimes that's appropriate. But really, it's important to teach our children why no is no, why yes is yes, why you're telling them they have to do something that they don't want to do, why you're telling them they can't do something that they want to do. You know, it's important to explain it to them as well as they can understand it, you know, so they can grow and understand why.
Let me like and share this, and then we'll get it started in on. They've got age brackets in this particular article. It's a pretty short article, but then we can talk about like how our parents taught us.
Your children still need your help.
Oh yeah,
no matter what your age is. And you can help,
or even if it's just to add a little wisdom to a situation,
to continue to teach them.
Yes, because my children call me all the time. So babies 0 to 18 months.
Yeah.
Which we know a lot of people that are like that emotionally. You know. Children
myself included.
0 to 18 months are angry whenever they have discomfort caused by hunger, loud noises, and tiredness. They show it by crying. Now we got 2 minutes until our break.
Mm-hmm. So let's go with 0 to 18 months.
All right. So obviously that's a self-explainer right there. They get angry when they have discomfort caused by hunger, loud noises, and tiredness, and they show it by crying, because each thing that happens to them bad is the worst thing that's ever happened to them.
Yes. Well, also, it kind of teaches us, right?
Yeah.
They don't understand our words.
No.
They just have needs. So what does it really train us for? That is to pay close attention, to listen carefully, understand what it means, and to understand what their needs are, and to attend to those needs.
Larry, that's terrible.
Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Larry says, I had a break.
He did have a break.
A couple of them.
Oh, my goodness.
But yes, continue. Sorry.
Well, I think it is. That's why it's designed that way by God, is because at that stage of their life, it's training us to be sensitive to their needs, to be sensitive to this intense new thing in our life that takes so much time and is so important, that we are now paying attention. You know what I mean? We don't have a choice, because this child can't communicate. It doesn't understand our words, and it has needs. So that turns our attention toward them. And that's when, so we can be acutely aware of, as they grow and become able to understand our words and able to understand better what's happening to them, why we're saying no, why we're saying yes, why they need care. You know, as they grow and start to understand those things, we are seeing closely the opportunities to teach them and to correct them and to guide them in the ways of the Lord.
Yep. Now, toddlers 18 to 36 months, can be easily angered because they think that they are the center of the world and can be frustrated when they cannot do or have what they want. Sorry, let me. I had to restart my tablet and I call it a tablet. It's a Chromebook. Because it updated. Anyways, B, it is difficult to share things. C, they have strong notion of what belongs to them, which is everything.
Yeah.
D, they still don't know many words, can't speak well, and can be upset and angry because people don't understand them. And E, have difficulty controlling their feelings. They show anger with tantrums. Have you ever seen somebody dragging their child out?
Yeah.
By their arm?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I saw somebody jerk a child off the ground by their arm.
Yeah, see, that's a no-no.
Ago.
That is succumbing to your own anger.
Yeah.
And you cannot discipline that is dealt in patience and wisdom and without anger is the most effective, in my opinion. Because my dad, though he did get angry from time to time, he did not respond he did not dole out punishment while he was angry. Whenever he had to punish me when I was older, he never punished me while he was angry.
Yes.
And I think he did that consciously so that because you can end up hurting your children if you're angry.
Yeah.
When you punish them.
Yeah.
Because a swat on the butt when you're really angry is rage filled.
Yes, it's not good.
And that's adrenaline and serotonin, all of that stuff. All those chemicals, whenever you're spanking them, causes you to hit a lot harder than you realize.
Yeah.
And
for me, I think it's rarely necessary. I think that's why it tells us not to provoke our children to anger, and why it tells us how not to. See, it's not just, don't make your children angry, because how do you do that? You don't know. And it says by admonishing them, right, and teaching them.
Right.
So that's the answer to not provoking your children to anger, and to looking for a way to not have all of these things mount up, because children are just surrounded by limitation, right? And that's frustration, which is a precursor to anger.
Yeah.
So when children are frustrated because they're not capable of much, but they see everything around them and they start to be mobile, they want to touch everything, they want to do everything, but they're not capable. You have to kind of pull them back a little.
Yeah.
And they don't know. They don't know why. They're hyper focused on that thing they want to see and learn, you know, what it is. So then you don't just pull them back, but when you get their attention, when you break their attention from that thing, you can teach them.
Yeah. Go ahead. We'll take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Enter the talent contest at Axe Fest. $10 entry, $50 to winner. Axe Media Group.
Your sandwich was so limited.
Your sandwich had a lot of butt.
Sorry. I can watch that clip over and over
Did you
again.
see my eyes?
Yes. Yeah, you were like, your sandwich had a lot of butt.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Okay.
Hi, Steve McAllister. Welcome. Another one of our friends that has issues with pain. He said he had a break, and then he said break, B-R-A-K-E. He says, broke my ribs, back, and spleen.
Oh.
He said, splatted on the windshield like a bug. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Man, we're glad that you're alive. Larry said, my dad would hit me first.
Yeah. My dad was the one who always admonished us and taught us. My mother was the one who was hyper emotional and overreacted, and she did teach us. She taught us the Word of God, but she got really frustrated mostly. I was blessed and lucky, actually, to have the parents that I did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because, you had your dad who was a calm, gentle soul.
Who was also a disciplinarian.
Yes.
If he had to correct you and you would not take the correction, he would go to the next step, which would be spank you, which was so rare, so rare. And he had wisdom to and used his words carefully. So when he said something to you about why not or why you had to do something, it made sense.
And you did it because you agreed with it, or you didn't do it because you agreed.
Right. Well, we knew also that there was a point where if Dad was actually explaining this to us, there was one step further that he would have to go, that he would go. Yeah. And so we would obey. And it was out of respect and mutual love, because he taught us love. Mom did too. You know, everybody has a little different way of expressing love.
Larry's dad hit him with a fist. That's what I read. Oh, is that what you read? Oh, okay. Well, he would hit me. Oh, with his fist.
Yes.
But then I thought, why did I say hit me first? Oh, anyways.
Now, what about later in life? Did your parents, Larry and Jackie, did they have some little bits of wisdom to offer you while you were raising your own children? And do you find now that you come up with that there are opportunities sometimes while your children are juggling raising children, or your grandchildren, you know, are struggling raising their children? Do you have those opportunities still to, you know, interject the teaching from the Word of God?
Yeah. Sorry, when I look at you like that, my focus goes out. Like my eyes are kind of like, so I'm not actually like, I know that you might think that I'm like feeling some sort of way. No.
Well, I just was afraid I was talking too much.
No, that's like my eyes kind of, they unfocus sometimes, where I don't know. I guess does my eye look lazy when I do that?
No, it's just that I am aware that I will talk too much.
That's all right.
And not listen.
We all talk too much.
That's
sometimes.
my tendency.
Poor Barney and poor Steve. Whenever you and I get on our tangents, they try to interject numerous times, and we just roll right over them.
I know. Sorry.
But sometimes
I'm trying to get better at it.
I notice, and I see you physically stopping yourself from talking. Like you've done it a couple times today. I've watched it where you're like, and then I can see you physically compose yourself to not speak, to be aware.
Well, it's important because also when I'm able to do that, I know that the people who love me and care for me have so much to offer, and that they're as capable and more capable of me most times, and they are ultimately absolutely more capable of seeing things from their perspective, and gaining perspective is helpful in life in general.
And you know, I have to do that too, because I'm a over talker as well. You know, where was I at here? Oh yeah, toddlers 18 to 36 months. We talked about that. They have a strong notion of what belongs to them. That's everything. Everything is mine, 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 mine.
Am I not getting comments?
No, they're coming up. Johnny Rooster was the last one to. Oh, Steve McAllister said, I had a reason to be angry at times as a kid because of how I was treated. That's true. The way your dad treated you was not the right way to do it. Johnny Rooster Show live from Finley River Park for the setup of the annual rubber duck race. Larry's dad, thank you for pointing that out, by the way, there, Steve Mickey Mac. Larry said, my dad was a bouncer, and then he said he would bounce me off the wall.
Wow.
Yeah. Now we're coming up to, this is preschoolers, 3 to 5 years old, are angry because they cannot yet control their emotions and are not yet good at using words when they are frustrated and angry. And they are learning how to share, have a hard time understanding that other people have different ideas. They show anger with tantrums and aggression.
Yeah.
Now, I used to throw a tantrum when I was a baby. And Dad talked to the doctor about it. And I used to hold my breath. He said I would hold my breath till I was blue in the face and about to pass out.
Whoa.
And he asked the doctor one day. And we'll tell you what the doctor told him to do here in just a few minutes, or a few seconds. That last little snippet
back.
about Casa, they were the ones that sponsored the $100 giveaway last week. And then this week, Beautiful Me is a sponsor of this week's $100 giveaway, which is selected randomly. Your name, when you like, goes into a list, and a computer randomly selects somebody from that list. So we say share to your friends so that they have an opportunity to win the $100.
And the
as well.
field is not massive.
No.
You have a good chance of winning.
Yeah. Yeah. Last week's winner was Jana Hale.
Did Hakeem ever comment about where he's from?
No.
Oh. Well, we're interested to know if you're ever willing to divulge.
So Steve says, I had a reason to be angry at times as a kid because of how I was treated. That's true. And then Larry said, I raised my 2 girls with reverse psychology. Of course, girls are a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still saying you should still like admonish and spank your girls if they're going to hurt themselves.
That's usually where I resorted to it. I mean, as I learned and grew as a parent, there's a learning curve to it, and it's difficult, and it's also very important. And you can make big mistakes. I think that's why most people grow up saying, I'm not going to do my children the way my parents did me.
Right.
And it's easy to take for granted everything your parents do right or did right and have the resentment for the things that they did wrong, because resentment is such a powerful and what does it do to you? I mean, it
overrides
invasive.
Everything. Yes, it is. It taints and becomes poison inside of you.
It does.
Jackie Melton says that her dad was a typewriter repairman and a great philosopher. He could also make her angry because of his sarcasm, which I might have inherited. Okay, I did inherit. She says, okay, I did inherit it. Jackie, we love you so much.
You're good at it, and you do it with love and humor.
So sweet. They're quite a pair, those two.
Yes.
They're both very loving people.
Yeah.
And Beautiful You Health Spa is our sponsor, or Med Spa is our sponsor. Moving on to Jackie. He was also a salesman and was able to retire early, a good provider. My dad turned 92 in March, and he's a great dad. 92. Long life. There's something to be said of being a philosopher and a typewriter repairman.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of use for typewriter repairman now.
Don't you think parenting well is a legacy that goes on for generations? So if you want to leave a legacy that has nothing to do with your name and who you are, but rather it goes on so that the people who live after you suffer less and live better by your example. I mean, that's an amazing legacy to leave.
Yeah. And, I think my dad left a legacy of how to discipline your children with God's love.
And to love them. So that, I mean, unmistakably.
Yeah.
We would I know I was disciplined by Uncle Bruce whenever it was necessary. And
it stuck.
And even as an adult.
He wasn't a spanker.
Till the day he died.
Yeah.
He was still correcting me with love when it was necessary.
Yeah.
And it was never mistaken for anything else.
Yeah. Right.
And so it was much easier to accept the difficult things he might have had to say sometimes.
Now,
because he always did it with love.
One of Dad's ways was the same way that God disciplined Israel numerous times, by just pulling his hand back and letting letting. All right. So there's a reason why he tells us not to do something, because it's bad for you or it will hurt you in a way. So what he would do is he would be there to explain after something bad had happened why. Yeah. He would use those life lessons to teach us. Yeah. And he always did it with love. I never heard Dad say, I told you so.
No.
To anybody.
No.
Now, if But he would tell you, like, if he knew.
He might, in appropriate circumstances, where it would get a good laugh. I mean, we did
yeah.
have a great sense of humor with him.
Oh
too.
yeah. I took mom's dog to get her toenails clipped
Yeah.
at a little, I think it was Tail Waggers or something. And I walk in there and they all stop. There's 3 ladies in there. They've all got dogs on their tables working. And they look at me and they all smiled. And
Because they saw your dad.
the lady said, "You look just like your dad."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I'm sure you heard this joke. How do you make holy water?" And they all got huge smiles on their face. Boil the hell out of it. And I said it just like that. And, he definitely left a legacy of looks. I think that's why mom likes to see me so much, because I remind her of dad.
Yeah. She's got a lot for you to do, and it keeps you around.
Yes. Sometimes too much. Love you, mom.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's catch up on comments real fast.
Okay.
Hey, Matt, real quick. Rachel's brother-in-law had a major heart attack. Oh, my goodness. We'll be praying for her brother-in-law.
Oh, and
A major heart attack. Those are rough. Dad had 3 of those.
So did he go into bypass surgery or something?
Yeah, keep us posted on that. Jackie's father sold computers to school systems in the later years. So he went from being a typewriter repairman to selling computers to schools. So that's a proper evolution of a job, and then adapting with the job.
That also relates to your children.
Yes. It shows them, when life takes something away, when God takes something away, move on to the next chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Adapt.
Yeah.
Assess, adapt, and overcome. That's 3 words that go through my mind constantly. Whenever something goes wrong, assess the situation, find out what you need to adapt to the situation, and then that will help you to overcome the negativity in that situation.
Yeah.
So,
and I've got some things going on right now that I feel really confident about and good about. I think that'll unfold for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't want to announce it right now. So we'll be.
I'm talking about some of the other things.
Gotcha. So nights ago, he almost passed. He's in the CCU and just had another mild one. Are they going to go in and do like emergency? Is he overweight? Is there a reason they haven't done an emergency surgery or angioplasty or bypass? Dad's first heart attack, he told me that he believes he had that heart attack because he prayed to God to help him quit smoking.
I've been afraid to pray that because I believe he's right.
I don't, and you can be specific, let it not be of any sickness or heart attack, just, but Dad prayed to God to help him quit smoking because he was smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day. Every morning when I'd go with him to the shop, he would send me up, and I was like 12. 13, 14, he would send me, I'd ride my bike down to this little gas station. It was a Total down on the corner of Glenstone and something or other. It's no longer there, back where they used to pump your gas for you. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I go down there every morning and buy 4 specific brand of cigarettes, 4 packs of Ultralight 100s. I'm not going to mention the brand. And every morning I had to do that. He had 3 stents put in. That's what Steve O. Mickey Mac says. And so he had his first heart attack, and he's in the hospital, and we're all standing around his bed afterwards, and he's like, look what I can do. And he'd look up at the screen where the heart monitors and stuff are, and he'd go, and then he would giggle because it would make the needles go up and down and all over the place. You all right over there, Jay?
Yes, I was wondering what the next one is.
The next one is children's aged 6 to 8 can be angry when they feel something is not fair, when they are rejected, punished, discriminated against, or misunderstood. They show anger by hurting and bullying others and using words to cause harm. And that's the last on the list, actually.
Well, check this out. I know we have to go to a commercial with that, and we will be right back after these messages.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
We're back. I got a mouthful of cashews. Man, that's nuts.
What do you think of that one?
Parenting an angry teen, a proven guide.
If you go down, there's angry teenagers, causes, and contributing factors. And we did kind of talk a little bit about the different times that kids are in. There's no safety in the classroom with social media. You can still be bullied in the classroom.
I'll tell you what we can do. We got 10 minutes, so we'll get as far as we can on this, but I think we should continue this conversation on Monday.
Yeah.
Because this is a much longer one.
We could even move on to adult children after this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not out of the picture. And I know that our listening, our what do we call it? Our audience
Mm-hmm.
is not of an age where they're raising children, though you never really stop raising your children. And I think sometimes it is important to be reminded, what is it that we are teaching our children? What are we supposed to be teaching our children? And to stay on track with that, to continue to go back to that truth of God that we can offer them.
A gentleman named Josh Watson wrote this article, and it was from May 10th, 2019. And he says the teenage years are a challenging time for any parent. Teenagers can be notoriously moody, reckless, and unpredictable. However, for parents of teens with defiance anger issues, these years can be especially difficult. Many parents of angry teens worry about their son or daughter's whereabouts or may fear when they will have their next episode or bout of rage, while many troubled teens with anger issues require professional treatment. There are several steps that parents can take to help manage their teens' anger. With proper support and treatment from both inside and outside of the home, teens can learn new ways to manage their feelings and find success and happiness in life. This article is intended to be a resource for parents, guardians, and teachers of teenage girls and boys struggling with anger, disrespect, and defiance. It's pretty much is every teen. We will provide an overview of anger and defiance in teens, signs that your angry child's bad behavior is out of control, and how parents can help to manage their teens' anger, and discuss wilderness therapy as treatment. So, wilderness therapy is no joke. My brother, Michael, that's what they were going to do to him.
Yeah.
Because he had anger issues. And Steve says, I can't wait till next week for his show. That's what he says.
I think it's important, that is, isn't it really the teaching though? It's the part where maybe the child missed the lessons where the parent takes them aside and says, here's why not.
Right.
This isn't easy for me and I have a lot going on. I'm juggling all of these things that an adolescent wouldn't understand, and yet is striving for themselves to become adults, right?
Yeah.
And there's something missing in the teaching part of parenting where the child's not understanding clearly the difficulties that a parent goes through to put the food on the table, which is a cliche now, but no less true.
Right.
So I think wilderness training is a good idea because they get out there and they find out it's not easy to live.
Yeah.
And you're going to work for it one way or the other, or you're going to go hungry and you're going to die or lose your place in society, something like that.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that for their children.
No.
And that's why teaching them and paying attention even when they're infants, or even going back and keeping in mind when they're infants, they can't speak. They have to cry to let you know whenever they need anything.
Yeah.
And it should turn your attention towards them and prepare you for teaching them.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently Steve has huge news next week.
Steve McAllister?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but he'll probably tell me later. So what we'll talk about in this, anger in teens, a phase or a problem, anger teenager causes and contributing factors, warning signs your teen's anger is out of control, and ways parents can help their angry teen, wilderness therapy as treatment for anger in teens, how a parent can support their angry teen through wilderness therapy. Conclusion, and about they have numerous programs out there.
Now, I would wonder if we could touch on the next chapter. So skip this one, but what is angry teenager causes and contributing factors?
Um,
Low self-esteem. It's important to teach your children how valuable they are and how important they are. And that sometimes the effort it takes to keep a family going sends the wrong message that they're not important because of all your time being consumed. You know, and they miss that. They miss that or lose that feeling of being valuable.
You talking about the contributing factors?
Yeah. Victim of bullying or persistent and unhealthy peer pressure. Now,
Peer pressure is
yeah, and these do reminisce to me teachings that might have been missing. You know, either they didn't learn them well or they weren't taught well.
right.
But when we're young, you know, when somebody takes your car and hits you on the head with it, you know, parents intervene. They're supposed to, and they're supposed to say to the kid, hey, that's not yours. You can't take that. You're not supposed to hit. Don't do that again. And then remove them from the situation if they continue with that behavior. But then also that teaches the child who had the car taken from them and got hit on the head, hey, getting away from that person and,
Right.
and not involving yourself with that person, you know, until they correct their own behavior.
Well, I mean, how you taught your kids about acting up in the grocery store was you
Wouldn't take them in the grocery store
for
Yeah.
months.
3 months.
And whenever you started, they acted a lot better because they knew.
Yeah.
That they would never-
Anywhere we were, not just the grocery store. After that, they understood, and I could tell them, and I believe I even actually had opportunities to tell them when we were out somewhere else, hey, you know, you're not going to the grocery store. Do you not want to go here either?
Right.
Because we don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, I can pay for this food and we can leave without it because I'm not staying here if you act like that.
Right. That's that's really good though. That I mean that the best way, in my opinion, to teach your kids is through nonviolent ways.
Yeah. And they need the explanation. They need the words. Use the difficult words. Don't use foul language.
Pastor Paul from Mocrete, he said the terrible twos are tough, but the terrible 22s can be even tougher.
Yeah. So there's also conflict within the family. And I know that I contributed to that in my own family and wasn't really aware of the extent of it. I was so consumed by my own suffering and feelings that I wasn't sensitive or caring enough about the other members of the family. You know,
yeah,
people
death
who
of a
were
loved
affected
one.
by it.
Let's just read out this list real quick because it's
Yep.
about time for us to go. Death of a loved one, adoption issues, substance abuse, divorce, abuse, and grief. And we will touch more on these on Monday because I think this is stuff we need to know.
It is. And
So-
you're not out of the picture.
You're not out of the
You have
picture.
children,
nor will you ever
grandchildren,
be.
maybe even great-grandchildren, and they're still, the key word there is children.
You want to get the
The
slide
right-
ready?
yes. Sorry.
So no, that's all right. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the morning drive today. We'll be back on tomorrow or Monday, same time, same channel, where we revisit today's topic and move on to the teenagers and adult years. So until then, my friends, be sure and tune in next. Sorry for the morning mouth with Johnny Rooster live from Finley River Park in the duck race
And then after
preparation. And then after that,
Open-ended?
we're going to have an open-ended classic episode because they are still out of town.
that, speaking of grief,
Yes. So until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
my name is Jay.
and this has been
The Morning Drive.